Hi, this is Marilee. In this video, I hope to show you value stream map, and process charts, and try to explain the differences. In chapters 3 and 4, you're going to take a look at waste, and once you have figured out what type of waste, you'll decide then which of the tools is best to use. I know we often confuse these three, so I want to go through some basics with you. The first is a value stream map, as you see here. Now, a value stream map is used to measure time. So in this particular case, we're looking at the time for milling, the time for welding, the time for painting, and the time for assemble. And so what they can find mathematically with looking at how much time is how much lag time we have, how much time we are wasting in between, so that if we can minimize some of this waste, we'll speed up our production. And another thing is how much time does it take for each element of the process. This is used a lot in industry. It's also used in hospitals and other service organizations, but what they want to see is so that we could use a pull method, for example, so that we could pull from this side, we want to see that each of these elements is going at the proper pace. For example, let's say that a welder will take twice as long, then we may have two welders here. And so the milling would go to one welder or the other welder, then to painting, then to assembly, so that we could be more efficient. So basically, this type of chart is used to show time. And we have to carefully measure and then do the mathematical calculations to figure out the most efficient time way to do it. So now we'll leave the time element and take a look at the process itself. A process chart is usually, and I'm saying usually, in swim lanes. That's why most process charts you'll see will look like this. Each of these is called a swim lane. There's a swim lane for each person in this process. So you can easily see what each other is doing and in what order. So these process charts can be used everywhere, at home, at work, and this is when we're not concerned about the time element at all. Now a simple chart would be like a flow chart, and the flow chart just shows what order and what happens if it's a yes and what happens if it's a no. So we're not even pointing out who's doing what, we're just saying this is the simple flow chart. Now some people like to make really creative flow charts using, let's say, pictures. I know I created one for doing my chores on the farm, and I don't have a picture of it here. I used it for the lean class that I took, but the way that I got the feed for each animal and went through my chore list, and I actually used the picture of the barn and the pictures of the animals, and I had my before chart and my after chart, and this is a good time to talk about that. When we're using a flow chart, or when we're using a process chart, or when we're using this value stream map chart, we may have a before chart, which is current state, and then an after chart. And the after chart is what we want it to be or what it looks like after the change. So this process chart could be this way, and then as we remove the waste, it would be a lot more simplified and a lot more efficient. So as you are looking at the next chapters, you're going to see more and more about waste, and then you'll be able to relate to the type of tool that would be best used for various types of waste. Once you start on your project, I will help you. So if you say that you want to use a value stream map and I don't think that makes sense, we'll have a conversation and we'll try to figure out what does make the most sense for you, and I'll make sure that the choice tool will be the best tool for you. All right, that's all I have for today. I hope this helped strengthen your knowledge of these three tools.